My name is Chung To. I'm the founder of the Chi Heng Foundation. I was born in Hong Kong, and when I was 14, I moved to San Francisco, where I attended high school. And about that time, the AIDS epidemic began, and one of my high school teachers died of AIDS. And that made a big impact on me, and ever since then, I became very involved in HIV/AIDS related causes. After my high school graduation, I moved to New York, where I attended Columbia University. And after that, I went to Harvard for a master's degree. Then I moved back to New York and started working on Wall Street for an investment bank. By the mid-1990s, I was pretty well settled down in New York and had a pretty comfortable life. I bought a penthouse apartment in Manhattan. I traveled on business on private jets. And under normal circumstances, my life should not cross paths with a group of orphans in rural, remote China. But sometimes life works in a very mysterious way. Not only that, I ended up meeting these children over the years, we also developed a very special sense of bonding, and we became like family. During the 1990s, a lot of poor peasants had to sell blood in order to make a living. And due to unsanitary blood collection practices, many of them have contracted HIV and have died. And their children have become orphans. Out of curiosity and my long-term involvement on HIV/AIDS causes, I made a visit to these AIDS-impacted villages in China. And I was quite shocked by the human suffering that I saw. One of the families that I visited, the father already died of AIDS, leaving behind a mother and 2 children. Unfortunately, the younger son also got HIV through mother-to-child transmission and was dying. And when the mother saw me, she jumped at me and said, "Please help my son." I said to the mother that there might not be much that I could do for your son, who actually died a few days after my visit. But I said, I wanted to make sure that your daughter could go to school, which is the spirit of our program. If you think about these parents, they got HIV and died because of ignorance and poverty. And if we do not want their children to repeat the same tragedy, giving them an education is a long-term sustainable solution. And because of that belief, I started sponsoring 127 kids in one village. We do not build any special schools for them because it would further stigmatize them and label them. And we do not build any orphanages, but rather we give resources to the local communities so that they could take care of their own children. If the parents have died, we would support the grandparents and aunts and uncles by living expenses and send them back to the local schools. After starting the education sponsorship program, I realized that these children not only needed money to go to schools, they have a lot of psychosocial needs. And in order for them to live away from the shadow of AIDS, we developed a few psychosocial development programs. One of them is an art therapy program. Because a lot of them might not be able to verbally express their pain, but through learning how to draw, sing, and dance, I think it is much better if we take these children to experience college life so that they could be inspired by a college education. So in the past 15 years, we have cumulatively brought over 5,000 junior high school students to experience a college life. And after that, many of them went back to their home village and got a lot more motivated in studying. A third program we run is the Big Brothers, Big Sisters program. We mobilize the older children who have already gotten into university to come back to work for us during the summer. And they were working in the villages, offering tutoring classes to the younger kids. And they become very good role models for these younger children. And the younger children really see a sense of hope in the older brothers and sisters. And because of all these programs, over 60% of our children gotten into university, which is a lot more higher than the national norm for rural China. And along the way, we realized that education alone and psychosocial development is still not enough. A lot of these children are growing up, and they need vocational training, employment opportunities, and also more empowerment. So we started to evolve from a charity to a social enterprise. And we also try to serve not individuals only, but also communities. One of the social enterprises that we run is an eco-bag workshop. We employ the HIV-positive women in the villages. They might not be bedridden because of the antiretroviral treatment that they have, but they also may not be strong enough to do labor-intensive work in the field. So a lot of them are staying home, not earning enough income, and feel that they are a useless person waiting to die. So by giving them a job, we not only give them an income, but also a sense of dignity. It is a wonderful program in the sense that we sell these bags to the hotels so that they could use it as laundry bags, solving a genuine social need. And the profits generated from the program would be used to support the education for the AIDS orphans. And the operating expenses of the program also has special social meaning because we give cash salary to these HIV-positive women. It is much better for them to earn an income rather than receiving a cash subsidy from social welfare. They feel like they are a useful person and can produce for their families. It has achieved the triple bottom line of a financial return, a social return, and an environmental return. Another program that we run is the Shanghai Young Bakers. Although 60% of our kids ended up going to university, but not everyone needs to go to university. Many children are resilient and they have special interests and other talents. And we believe that they should pursue whatever they are interested in. So over the last 10 years, we have trained up hundreds of bakers to learn French bakeries. Many of them are now working in five-star hotels. Some of them even have become head chef in some of these hotels. Some of them also gotten scholarships to study in France for French bakery. And then many of them participated in international awards and have won international awards in French bakery. It really reaffirms my belief that if we give enough love and care and encouragement to these children, no matter how low their starting point is, sky's the limit, and they could be anything they want. And because of all these awards and encouragement, we also started a bakery in Shanghai. It is a wonderful karma because 15 years ago, I was carrying a lot of food and material supplies to these villages to feed the children. And I never expected that one day, these children would become so empowered that they could make French bakery so good that they won international awards, and one day they could start a bakery and start making bread products to feed myself. Not only that they don't have to stay hungry, I also got fed by the products. And the money generated from the bakery can be used to feed their younger brothers and sisters in the villages. A lot of people think that I have sacrificed a lot for the cause, but in fact, I have gained a lot more than I gave. Before, as an investment banker, I worked in a very comfortable environment, surrounded by capable people who dress very nicely, very young and healthy, and make a lot of money. And after living in a life like that for a while, you got illusioned that most people live like that in the world. But the charitable work makes me realize that most people do not live like that. And in fact, China is like a special express train of development. And I used to be in the front of this bullet train, helping rich people to get richer, help big companies to become bigger. But during this process, I saw that a lot of people could not even get on this train because someone is ill in the family, because they couldn't get an education, because they live in very remote areas and lack opportunities. And with the Chi Heng work, I met a lot of people about my age who later on died of AIDS. They are as smart as I am, they were as hardworking as I am, even if not more so. But they have a very different outcome. And it made me realize that my achievement has a lot more to do with me being fortunate than being hard work. Once I realized that luck has a special and important role in everyone's life, I started not taking things for granted, and I became more humbled. And it is because of that, I also developed a stronger sense of social responsibility and decided to use my fortune to help others who are less fortunate. And I have been hoping to mobilize more people to do the same. The future of philanthropy should not be about a few rich people writing checks to a charity so that they could help poor people. As China develops, more and more people would rise above the poverty line. What they need is not cash subsidy or social welfare. What they need is an opportunity for development. They should be seen as a partner of development. At the same time as China's middle class rises, more and more people can afford to be part of philanthropy. But at the same time, I want philanthropy to incorporate into everyone's daily life. Just cash donation is not enough. To me, I think it is a lot easier if we ask people to buy a cup of coffee and a piece of bread rather than making a 20 RMB donation every day. Because by doing so, it also solves their genuine social need and at the same time doing good work. In the future, I hope China can develop more social enterprises in a bigger ecosystem so that more people can find better ways to participate in philanthropy. Thank you.